So for those who are interested in pursuing a career in supply chain management, what would you say are the top 10 things that people should consider before stepping into the industry?
Only 10? Can I? Can I say more?
You can get more if you want.
Do we have time? Yeah, we'll focus on 10. I think the ones that I like to run through, or the advice I usually like to give, is that the first one is that you need to understand the scope, right? There's so many different areas and processes and departments and individuals and companies and organizations that operate within this whole big supply chain umbrella, that you need to understand how large this seems to be and how supply chain touches almost every aspect of a business. And understanding that is going to be your first thing into recognizing the impact that supply chains have on businesses, on commerce, globally, right? Not just you directly, but globally. So I think understanding the scope, that's really big, right? The next thing I can say is that because of how big it is in scope, we do have to focus on being data driven. And we are an industry that is very heavily reliant on data and processing the data, analyzing the data, and being able to figure out what to do with this data. So if you don't like to do a lot of the analytical thinking or critical thinking from the data, it's not that you're not going to like it. You're gonna be able to work with it. We have tools, especially now, a lot of software and stuff that helps us build through that. But you still need to understand the concepts of it. So know that it's data-driven. Data's going to be really heavily within supply chain. And you need to learn how to work these tools to your advantage within that, right? I think the next thing I can definitely say is within supply chain, you need to have people skills. You're going to deal with a lot of people, right? Back to the scope. There's so many things in supply chain. And dealing and knowing how to deal with people and having communication skills that are really effective, that's really going to guide you and give you a good direction within this industry in particular, or this field in particular. From there, I would say also, when we're talking about people skills, you also lead sort of into maybe management skills as well, right? It's not just being able to manage and lead people, but you're going to have projects that you have to work on, right? You're going to be able to manage the resources that you have within your supply chains, whether it's your supply chain in your business or whether it is the people that are functioning around your business. So know how to manage people, know how to lead. And if you don't, that's fine. Everybody starts somewhere. Yeah. But know how to get to a point that is going to make you a good leader, a good manager, and that's eventually going to make you help and grow your career into something that's going to fulfill you, right? So I think management skills, people skills, they go sort of hand in hand.
Yeah.
I definitely think.
The best managers are the ones with people skills.
Right. But they actually care about others' feelings.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah. Empathy is a thing. It's a
empathy. I think we lack a lot of empathy sometimes. You're totally right. Within that, I think it also goes into knowing how to network. That's another tip, right? Knowing how to network. And I get it. It's hard for people. I'm an introvert. It's not like my favorite thing.
It's the hardest thing to do.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not my favorite thing to be out there and put myself out there and to network, right? And now post-COVID, everything's online and people find it a little bit harder to do the sort of networking that we used to do back in the day.
It's all hibernated for 2 years.
Yeah, we're so out of practice with this whole interacting with other humans thing.
What is that? Face to face? Are you kidding me? Yeah, so it is very difficult for people that don't feel comfortable with networking to network. And I tell that to the students all the time. I'm like, please network. You're going to meet a lot of people, whether it's in your program, other students, your colleagues, people, faculty, whoever it is that you meet. Have the opportunity and meet these people, hear their stories, share your story. And with doing that, you're not just, getting friendly with people you're going to work with eventually at all these levels of the supply chain, but there might be an opportunity there for you to grow your career eventually. Hey, I know this person, and this person gave me an introduction, and there's this opening. You know how networking,
a lot of it, like who you know.
I feel like I don't have to explain.
This interview is happening because of networking, right?
Exactly.
So there you go. We wouldn't all be here without networking.
Exactly right. We saw an opportunity to do something that we share within a common field, and we took it and we ran. Right? It could be a little scary for people. I get it. I know. I understand that. But I try to tell the students and I try to everybody. Hey, I don't want to seem like I'm beating a dead horse, but yes, network, feel sort of that need and that advantage that eventually is going to bring you to your career, because you will see it. Believe me, you will. It's going to be worth the investment. So do that. So definitely, within that. Something else, another thing you should know about a career in supply chain, I think that pressure and how to handle pressure. I think that not a lot of people like to deal with pressure, or they like a job that they don't feel so rushed to do things. That might not be the case in supply chain or an environment in supply chain, right?
I guess you can't really be chill when things are, that hinging on the success of your business.
Exactly, right? And how you're so connected to everything else. And like one thing flows to the next and everything is so interconnected. So you're bound to have a level of pressure that you're going to need to be able to handle that, right? You need to handle that internally, figure out how to do that on your own. That's how you are individually, figure out how you handle pressure, but also learn how to handle pressure using tools, using ways to handle the pressure that logistics and supply chain and inventory management and procurement and warehousing and transportation and all these different things that, within supply chain that are going to give you. Ideally, everybody wants everything to go smoothly, but there's bound to something to go wrong, right? So know how to handle the pressure and be able to problem solve.
Can I ask what is procurement? I'm still a noob.
Sourcing. Procurement comes with purchasing, buying, sourcing. If you're a manufacturer or you're trying to build something, produce something, you're going to need to make a product happen. And by that, you have to source and procure and buy material, resources.
I see. So just the
raw
process of
materials.
sourcing.
Yes, the process of sourcing, right? Buying what you need to make something you're going to sell.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. As easy as I can
That was
do.
easy to understand.
The more you know. A rainbow. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, it's sort of knowing how to handle the pressure because there's going to be a lot of pressure put on you, right? And again, back to the management skills and people skills, not everybody has it. It's not common sense, or not everybody has common sense, but it's management skills are going to be difficult for people to lead somebody, right? And if they don't have the tools on how to tell you how to handle pressure, that's going to be a nightmare to deal with. So know how to do that internally. You're going to face pressure. How are you going to handle that pressure?
Yeah, like
so that you don't drive yourself crazy. Because now we want what? Work and life balance.
Yeah.
Mental health is such a big thing. I'm an advocate of that, right? Be in an environment that, it's tough, right? But then, the pressure is going to give you a good diamond.
Yeah.
Right? You put pressure into something, it's going to give you a good result. So figure out how to deal with it and handle it well. So moving along to the next one, I think when we deal with supply chain, we deal supply chain in terms and stuff, but we also have to think about the future. And thinking about that is how we are structuring our supply chains now to be environmentally conscious, socially responsible, right?
So important.
And integrating things into it that makes our supply chains more aware of our environments, right? The environment as a whole, we see with climate change, believer or not, we see the effects of what climate is happening and how it affects us. And if we can have a little part into not making the problem bigger, and if we can have that mentality of building our supply chains in a way that it doesn't damage, hurt, or create a bigger burden on our environment, then we should definitely do that. And us as professionals in the career that you're going to go into, sort of figure that is something that you as an individual need to have in mind so that you can propose and put things into motion with your organization, right?
Yeah.
Be socially responsible and conscious, right? It's not just about procurement and sourcing the products you're going to make and build into a product.
Yeah.
Where are they coming from? Are they being sourced from somewhere that's, responsible?
Yeah.
That you don't have child labor involved, that you're not breaking so many laws and things that are going to affect, your whole globe, your whole world, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing that I always like to tell students and about your career. Think about that and what the future means.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important. I think that, like you're saying, everything kind of hinges on supply chain. So having it get that sustainability right there built in at the base level, and everyone else can kind of follow suit. It'll trickle down. Yeah, it's really smart.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Something else to take it into that direction also that within a career in supply chain, you're going to have a lot of opportunities within supply chain. So understand that there's many different things that you can do and be able to identify how to take advantage of that. Not advantage, I don't like the word advantage, but take the opportunity as it comes to you so that you're able to build on that, right? So lots of opportunities, take advantage of that. That leads me to the next thing. Build your knowledge base. If you see these opportunities happening, it's not just knowing, well, yeah, it's an opportunity. I don't feel like I'm great at it. I don't know how to handle it. Am I going to be good? Yeah, it's okay to have some doubt, but know that if you're able to build your skill set, build your knowledge base, that's going to make you a stronger candidate for whatever is going to face you in your career. And then eventually, the last thing I'm going to say, because I don't want to sound like I'm going too long, but the next thing I want to say is always think of yourself as a lifelong learning. The continuous learning.
Always a student.
Always a student. In whatever aspect of your life, always be a student. But especially within supply chain, because of so many different elements that come into play in supply chain and in your organizations, think of yourself as a lifelong learner. Build yourself as a way to, yes, you're in this position, great. But what can I do? What can I learn to build myself up to the next one? or what can I do to learn more about what happens in our company, in our supply chain, internally, externally? What are some of the things, right, that are out there? And think of yourself always as having this mindset of building your career forward with being a lifelong learner, lifelong student.
Yeah.
I imagine that things are constantly evolving and changing
Yes,
and whatnot.
yes,
so
yes.
keeping up with that is probably really, really important. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
never
agree.
stop learning.
Absolutely.